Good morning students, Sairam. Myself Sridevi Rao will be continuing the second lesson, Life Processes in Living Organism, Part 1. We learnt about energy production from carbohydrates, aerobic respiration we learnt about anaerobic respiration. Today let us learn about energy from how energy is produced from other food components. Okay, first let you all know we get energy from carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. Yes or no? We learned that we get energy from carbohydrates, proteins and lipids, and other than that we get from vitamins as well as water. All these are necessary for our body. Now one by one let us learn. We learned how protein is useful for our body. Now first of all, what is protein? What are proteins? Proteins are macromolecules formed by bonding together many amino acids. Okay, when many amino acids join, they form proteins. And how much kilocalorie of energy we get from this? We get 4 kilocalorie of energy from 1 gram of protein. These amino acids are obtained after digestion of proteins. So when we eat protein rich food, what will happen? It is converted into amino acids. Okay, so whatever protein rich food we consume, after digestion it will be converted into amino acids, and this amino acids are absorbed in the body. Okay, what happens to this amino acid? This amino acids are absorbed in the body and it is transported up to each organ and cell. Okay, through what? Through the blood. So the amino acids are absorbed. So proteins are converted into what? Amino acids. And these amino acids are absorbed by the body and it is transported to each and every cell and organ through blood. Okay, from these amino acids, organs and cells produce various proteins necessary for themselves and the whole body. So what happens the process? Tell me. So proteins, when you have protein rich food, it is converted into amino acids, and these amino acids enter into the blood and it is transported to all the organs and cells via blood. Okay, and when they reach the organs and cells, and they produce different proteins which is necessary for themselves and the whole body. So I'll give you the examples of some of the proteins produced by different cells and organs. You can see in this table. You can see when the amino acid reaches the bone produces the protein called osin, OSSEIN. Okay, it is called as osin. When the amino acids reaches the other cells, and various products and cell membrane and different various enzymes are produced. So amino acids, when we go to the pancreas, they will produce insulin and trypsin. So these amino acids are necessary for our body. When they go to various glands, they will produce the proteins and various hormones will be produced. And when they go to muscles, and muscles will produce actin, myosin, flexible proteins. They will produce the actin and myosin. Okay, when they reach the blood, they will form the hemoglobin and antibiotics. And when the skin produces melanin. You know, the melanin is the reason for your coloration of your skin. And that is when the amino acids is taken to the skin, they produce the protein called melanin and keratin also. So these are the examples how proteins are amino acids are converted into proteins by different organs, and how they are useful for our body. Okay, now excess of amino acids is not stored in the body. Excess of amino acids obtained from proteins are not stored, and they are broken down, and the ammonia is formed, and this ammonia is eliminated out of the body in the form of urine, in the form of sweat. This ammonia is released. So excess ammonia, we learned other carbohydrates can be stored in the body. Okay, but amino acid cannot be stored in the body. It is broken down and it is converted into what? Ammonia, and it is eliminated out of the body. Okay, if necessary, excess of proteins are converted into other useful substance like glucose. Sometimes this excess of proteins are converted into useful substance like glucose in the process called gluconeogenesis. What is the process? So what is this gluconeogenesis? Excess of proteins are converted into useful substances like glucose. If it is not stored in the body, it is either eliminated in the process, it is converted into ammonia, it is eliminated, or it is converted into useful substance like glucose in the process called gluconeogenesis. What is the process? What is gluconeogenesis? Excess of proteins are converted into other useful substances like glucose in the process called gluconeogenesis. Understood? Now, okay. Even the plants also produce the necessary amino acids from minerals and thereby produce different proteins. Not only human being, even plants also produce the necessary amino acids from minerals and thereby produce different proteins. An important point is here an enzyme, which is an enzyme, I've highlighted it, it is rubisco. Okay, present in the plant chloroplast is the most abundant protein found in nature. So which in the exam, if it comes, which is the most abundant protein found in nature, you have to write it as which is present where? In the plant chloroplast. You have to write it as rubisco, rubisco. Okay, so I'll repeat that point. An enzyme rubisco present in plant chloroplast is most abundant protein found in nature. So we learnt about protein. Protein after digestion is converted into amino acids and it is transported through the blood to different organs and cells, and they produce the different proteins which is necessary for themselves and the body. We learned the chart, then different amino acids produced obtained from this. Okay, now let us learn about lipids. Okay, now after proteins, then comes the lipids. They all know not only proteins, even lipids are necessary for energy production. The substances, what are lipids? The substances formed by specific bond between fatty acids and alcohol are called as lipids. If they ask define lipids, you have to write the substances formed by specific bond between fatty acids and alcohol are called as lipids. What are these lipids converted into? Lipids are converted into fatty acids and alcohol. We learnt it in the previous class itself. Lipids are converted into fatty acids and alcohol. Now, what happens to this fatty acids? Fatty acids are absorbed up and it is distributed everywhere within the body. Okay, it is absorbed, it is absorbed and it is distributed throughout the body. From those fatty acids, different cells produce various substances necessary for to themselves. Okay, from this fatty acids also the cells produce various substances which is necessary for themselves. Then fatty acids are also useful for producing hormones like progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, aldosterone. These are all you will learn it in the next lesson when I am teaching about life processes part 2. Okay, so these are all the hormones which are essential for our body. So these fatty acids are useful for producing the hormones like progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, aldosterone, etc. You have to just learn the names. What are the hormones are produced? Progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, aldosterone, etc. Okay. Then from lipids also, how many kilocalories of energy we'll get? We can get more energy, that is 9 kilocalorie of energy per gram of lipid. We get so much energy. Carbohydrates also 4 only we learned. Even proteins also only 4 kilocalorie, but In lipids, we'll get 9 kilocalorie of energy per gram of lipid. Okay, excess of lipids are stored in the adipose connective tissue in the body. So that's why we tell they are like a covering of this lipids, the fatty acids converted to fatty acids, just connect, it is stored under the skin. That's why we tell we feel warm, because of the fats which is stored under our skin. That is, excess of lipids are stored in adipose connective tissue in the body. So understood what are lipids? Okay, now let us see about vitamins. Okay, we learnt about what all we learnt till now. We saw about carbohydrates, we learnt in the previous video, how it is energy is given. We learnt about aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Then we learnt about proteins, how proteins are converted into amino acids, and different amino acids are produced from different organs like skin, bones we saw, which are very useful to us. Then we learnt about lipids. Okay, and this lipids are also, we get how much kilocalorie of energy? 9 kilocalorie per gram of lipid, we get so much energy. Now coming to the next, we are going to learn about vitamins. Okay, what are vitamins? Vitamins are a group of heterogeneous compounds of which each is essential for proper operation of different processes in the body. Same way, this, what are vitamins? They are a group of heterogeneous compounds. It is not homogeneous, it is a heterogeneous compounds of which each is essential for proper operation of various processes. So different vitamins are necessary for various processes. For digestion, some of the vitamins are needed. For circulation, some of the so different life processes are there in our body. So different vitamins are essential for the various operation of various life processes in our body. Okay, how many types of vitamins are there? Already previously we have learned there are 6 types of vitamins. Okay, you would have learnt in your lower classes. They are vitamin A, B, C, D, E and K. Main group, they are the broad classification. What are they? Vitamin A, B, C, D, E and K. Okay. Now out of these, which some are fat soluble vitamin and some are water soluble vitamin. Okay, which are fat soluble? Can you remember? Vitamin A, D, E and K are fat soluble. Okay, out of these, which are fat soluble? Vitamin A, D, E and K are fat soluble, whereas vitamin B and C are water soluble. Okay, so remember like that, A, D, E and K are fat soluble and vitamin B and C are water soluble vitamins. Okay, now we have already seen that FADH2 and NADH2 are produced in the process of glycolysis and Krebs cycle. So we learned that this FADH2 in the TCA cycle, this is produced FADH2 and NADH2, and it enters the electron transfer chain, and then you will get the energy in the form of ATP. We learned for the formation of FADH2 and NADH2, vitamins like riboflavin and nicotinamide, that is vitamin B2 and B5, are necessary for the production. So for production of FADH2 and NADH2, vitamins, that is vitamin B2, that is, which is riboflavin, and vitamin B5, which is nicotinamide, are necessary. Okay, so even in the Krebs cycle, this vitamins are necessary for production of FADH2 and NADH2. Okay, now coming to the next one is water. Okay, we all know our body is made up of 65 to 70% of water. Our body is made up of water. Even the blood plasma contains 90% of water. And each and every cell also contains 70% water by weight. Okay, so there are how much water in our body? 65 to 70% of our body weight is of water, and each cell is made up of 70% of water, and even blood plasma contains 90% of water. Water, you all know, water is very essential. We always tell you have to drink lot of water, at least 3 to 4 liters of water. For why we tell? Because for the proper functioning of the body, and thereby whole body is disturbed even if there is little loss of water from the body. Suppose you are having vomiting or dysentery or loose motion, so that time lot of water is uh, goes away from your body, that it causes harm to your body. So functioning of cells and by whole body is disturbed, okay, when there is loss of body water from the body. So water is very essential because blood plasma is made up of 90% is of water only. Even like other components, even water is also necessary for a body. Okay. Now coming to the last part is your fibers. In our foodstuffs we should include fibers. We all know we get fibers from the fruits, vegetables, which is very important. Along with the other mentioned nutrients, fibers are also very essential. We'll see why it is essential. In fact, we cannot digest this fibers. Can we digest this? No, we cannot digest the fiber. Always, okay. However, they help in the digestion of other substances. And they help in the digestion of the undigested substances. So, for the passing of stools, for the smooth passing of stools, this for the undigested parts of the waste substances from the body can be removed easily when you have fiber rich content food. Okay, it is useful for the digestion of undigested substances. The undigested substances should be removed from the body in the form of stool. So this fiber is necessary for removal of stool, unwanted substances from the body. Okay, you all know we obtain this fiber from leafy substances, fruits, cereals, etc. Okay, so all these are very essential. We saw, what did we see? We saw how energy is produced, how we get energy from proteins, and we saw lipids, and vitamins, and we learnt about water as well as fibers. Okay, let us revise now. Okay, now what happens to proteins? Proteins is digested. When you have protein rich food, it is converted into amino acids, and this amino acids is transported via blood to different parts of the body, and there different proteins are produced, like the skin produce melanin, the amino acids. Okay, they are useful for production of all these substances in the body. Excess amino acids cannot be stored, excess proteins cannot be stored also, and they are released in the form of ammonia in the sweat and in urine. Okay, and we learnt about gluconeogenesis. Proteins are converted into glucose. Okay, in the process called gluconeogenesis. And we learnt about lipids and how lipids are converted into fatty acids and alcohol. And we get how many kilocalorie of energy? 9 kilocalorie of energy from 1 gram of lipid. And we also learnt about vitamins. Vitamins, there are two types of vitamins, fat soluble and water soluble. Okay, and they are essential for what? Even in the Krebs cycle, for the formation of FADH2 and NADH2. At that time also vitamin B2 and B5 are necessary. And we'll also learnt about water. Water is very essential because 90% of blood plasma is made up of water, and even our body is made up of 65 to 70% of water. So that water, even for proper functioning of all the life processes, water is necessary. And we also learnt about fibers. We learned along, this is not necessary for, we don't get any energy from this, but this fibers, we cannot digest this fiber. It is essential. It is helpful for digestion of the undigested substances. And we also learned we get fibers from the leafy vegetables, fruits, cereals, etc. Okay, children. We have learnt about carbohydrate, how we get energy from carbohydrates. That is, we learnt about aerobic respiration and the 3 steps of aerobic respiration, and we learnt about anaerobic respiration, and we learnt about different other substances like proteins, lipids, then vitamins, water and fibers. So this part is over. Now we will start with the cell division, which is very important part of this lesson, in the next video. Hope you all have understood. Note down the important points. Revise properly. If you have the textbook, read the textbook. Okay, this part is over. Now we will start with the cell division in the next video. Okay children, bye for now. Sai Ram.